The very first few centuries, especially the first 3 centuries, I would say, it was difficult because people had work commitments. They worked 7 days a week, not like we do today where we have just 5 days a week, but they would work 7 days a week and under difficult circumstances. And so what many of them would do, let's say you were celebrating the Sabbath on a Sunday, the day that Jesus rose from the dead, you would have to get up quite early and attend a service with a lot of fellow believers. Or you would, at very late at night, you would all gather together. You had to do your work commitment. There wasn't any flexibility in that regard. So the fact that they couldn't celebrate the Sabbath like we could with the entire day, of course, meant that they had to be a little bit creative with this approach I just mentioned. And this was true until about the 4th century when Constantine came in. And a lot of people believe that he had become a believer, but he was also a politician, and it was probably for political reasons that he instituted that Sunday, the day that Jesus rose from the grave, would be considered a public day of rest. So people would take the day off on Sunday once we got to the 4th century, so forth. But before then, it was quite a commitment on people's parts. And I think it's also important to state that Sunday did not supersede Saturday for Christians. A lot of Christians attended the Sabbath services on Saturday as well, the 7th day. And but they would also attend the services on Sunday. So they were going to services on both Saturday and Sunday. And a lot of Jewish believers who would go to the service on Sunday, but they would also go to their Sabbath services on Saturday, where they had a lot of friends who weren't believers yet, but they were strong Jewish believers in Yahweh and so forth. They just didn't think that Jesus was the Messiah. And so those people would go to the Saturday service also, so that they would have an opportunity to share their faith with their countrymen and fellow Jews and so forth. But they would also attend on Sundays, as they would be surrounded by people of like faith and so forth. So the early centuries, it was people were attending both services when they were able to do so.